There's 133 college football teams, guys. USC's defense ranks. I'll write it down for y'all. You know they rank out of 133? Put it right here. Take a guess. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. That was interesting. Sorry. Something on my throat. Anyways, I was saying that's pretty interesting. So I found out we got a lot to talk about with this Notre Dame USC game. By the way, the only reason I'm doing this video is because of the Twitter community. Shout out to everybody on Twitter that follows me. I said, hey, I didn't know if you guys want to see the live reaction. I said, hey, if we can get this video, or not the video, what am I talking about? The tweet to 100 likes, we'll do a reaction video, and I think we got the tweet to 100 likes in like a couple of minutes. So I guess you guys want to see it. I'm a fan of people. I'm going to get the people what they want. I just didn't think you guys want to see a reaction video because it was a blowout, but maybe y'all want to see me trash USC, and I'm going to do that. So first things first, let me start by saying this. The first half was eventful. Caleb Williams proved he's human. I haven't seen this side of Caleb Williams. I can't talk tonight, sorry guys. I haven't seen this side of Caleb Williams in a very long time. I can't remember the last time. I'm trying to think. Was tonight his worst performance ever? I don't know. Now that I think about it, this might be the worst I've ever seen him play. 3 interceptions in the first half. Granted, one of those was a tip pass, but still. The other one right after the tip pass that also led to a touchdown, it was just a terrible decision. Sometimes, and I hate to say it, I get it. It's cliche and corny. You know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to compare him to who you think I'm about to compare him to. It's just like Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes Caleb Williams, he tries to make the superhero play, and it turns out to bite him in the butt. Very rarely does it happen, and if I was as good as him, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be overconfident. And tonight, it just bit him in that he played a real deal, pretty legit defense in Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's a weird team because I was high on them at the beginning of the season. And then, especially coming off of that loss to Louisville, I'm like, no, I'm not high on them anymore. I'm low on them. And now they blow out. Hey, good. I'm not going to say they're great, but look, come on now. USC is a good team. At least their offense is good. It's weird because they're an elite offense, or I won't say elite anymore. They're a great offense, but they're one of the worst defenses in the country. So I think that can combine into. Well, you get my point. We'll say USC's good, and Notre Dame just completely destroyed them. This really wasn't a ball game from start to finish. Whenever USC tried creeping back in the game, Notre Dame put their foot on their neck and was like, no, you're not coming back in this game. And let's, you know what? Let's just write this down. It's on my mind. The game literally just finished about a minute or two ago. Crap, hit my elbow on that. I want to play a game, just like Saw does. Since the new Saw movie came out, we use a Saw reference. I want to play a game, or we're going to play a game. Turnovers. How many turnovers? Take a guess. How many turnovers did USC have in this game? You know it was more than 2 if you watch this game. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Time's up, buddy. USC had a whopping 5. Oh, you can barely see that. 5 turnovers. Point at it, circle it, do whatever. 5 turnovers. How many did Notre Dame have? Da-na-na-na-na-na. Time's up, buddy. 0. Point to it, circle it. Since it is a 0, we won't circle it because that'll make it a little. We'll underline it. Turnover battle was 5-0, and that is the remedy of this game and why Notre Dame won. Here's another fun fact for you off the top of my head. I know, because I was looking at these stats during the game, I know USC outgained Notre Dame. Yeah. Notre Dame, the final score 48-20. Check this out, guys. Notre Dame only had 251 total yards and put up a 50-burger. Meanwhile, USC outgained them in yards. They had 302 and put up 20 points. You do got to throw in there, main reason Notre Dame didn't have a lot of yards is because they didn't have to go far and they had all the turnovers. So that's why, but good gosh almighty. 48 points and only having 250 total yards. The funny thing about this game, if you've been keeping up with the channel, watching some of the recent videos, is Friday. Yesterday, I made a video titled USC, this is quote unquote, USC has a serious problem. And what was that problem I talked about for 10 minutes in that video? The defense. Well, what do you know? And what did I state in that video? I said, here's the problem with USC and any team like this. You can't count on your offense to score 40 plus points for 12 straight regular season games. Can't do it because it's not going to happen. At bare minimum, there's going to be at least one game out of those 12 you're not going to score 40 points. And what are you going to do? Because you're giving up 40 plus points every single game. It's much better in college football to have a great defense and a great offense. You can debate a brick wall on that. Don't care. Defense travels. You can always count on your defense. However, you're seeing this in live time and action. You can't always count on your offense because what if they slip up, have a couple of turnovers, and only score 20 points? What are you going to do? In this case and scenario, you're not going to do anything. You're going to get blown out 48-20, whereas if you had a decent defense, you could have still competed in the game. You see what I'm saying? You got to fix the defense, Lincoln Riley. I know you don't want to do it, but good. I didn't want to do this, but we might have to talk about this later in the week. We need to have a serious conversation about how Lincoln Riley is arguably one of the biggest frauds in college football now. Outside, and I tweeted this out, he might be one of the most, or not might be, he is one of the biggest frauds in college football outside of Jimbo Fisher, who's at number 1, and number 2 is Ryan Day. Lincoln Riley's got to be right behind those guys. And the saddest part about this is, if you've been keeping up with the channel for years now, I've been the one who's had Lincoln Riley's back. I've been the one who's caught backlash for saying, oh, I understand the move to USC, this and that. I've backed him up, but I can't back him up anymore. And I told Oklahoma fans when he left, it might be a blessing in disguise. Because have you noticed, wherever Lincoln Riley goes, he doesn't want to play defense. It's just offense, offense, offense. That's why when bad things happen to you in life, I don't always think it immediately, yeah, they're bad things, but long-term wise, they may not always be bad. And you're seeing that with Oklahoma, because now Oklahoma, you got a defense and it's going to pay dividends. Well, Lincoln Riley, it's not a coincidence that his defense sucks at Oklahoma and his defense sucks at USC. This is who he is. He's an offensive mastermind, one of the best offensive minds in college football, but at the same time, he doesn't give two craps about the defense. And it shows. It's not a recipe for success. I think the problem is, guys, I really do, he thinks, he's so hard-headed, he thinks it is a recipe for success. He thinks you can just outscore teams. He thinks, okay, if we just have a slightly below-average defense, we can overcome that if we score 50 points per game, in which you can, but what are you going to do, Lincoln Riley, when you don't score 50 points in a game? What are you going to do when you score 20 points? Have you thought about that? I don't think he has. You got to fix the defense. And we're not here to talk about Lincoln Riley's career. He's not going to get fired. He's not on the hot seat. But I think it's about time to start having a conversation of Lincoln Riley is one of the biggest frauds in the sport of college football. And I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth because I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt the past couple of years. I thought eventually he would fix the defense. All these sources in California calling me, texting me in the offseason, yo, Matt, the defense is going to improve. They're going to be way better this year. They're actually worse this year on defense than they were last year. And I didn't think that was possible. How does that happen? How does that happen? As far as it goes for Caleb Williams, let's pull up his numbers. He's still the best quarterback in the country. It's not close. He had a bad game. All quarterbacks and players are going to have a bad game here and there. It's going to happen. I'm not putting the loss on him. His offensive line is doo-doo cheeks. They suck. And where's this game at? I can't even find it. Caleb Williams is still great. He just had a bad game. Don't be one of these people saying, oh, Caleb Williams trash. You just sound like an idiot. He's not trash. If he were to go to your team today or you saw him in public, you'd act like a fanboy. Yeah, 23 for 37, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 INTs. Inexcusable. It was just a bad game for him. But I feel like the reason he presses so much on every single play is because he knows he has to score at bare minimum 40 points just to have a chance to win the game. Think about that. Think about that. You play differently when you know your defense can get stops. Let's say you're Jalen Milroe, the quarterback for Alabama. You can afford to take a sack. You can afford to throw the ball out of bounds. You can afford not to hit the home run every play. Fun fact for you, Alabama's offense has only scored 20-something points in their last 4 out of their 5 games, and they've won them all. So their quarterback, Jalen Milroe, knows, oh, well, I don't got to score 40 points. We got a pretty good defense. Caleb Williams, though, his mindset is, okay, if I don't get a 70-yard touchdown pass here, we're going to lose. And to a certain extent, he's right. As far as it goes for his USC career and the Heisman's over. You almost had to have a dang near perfect season just for them to give it to you in the first place, back-to-back years, which, by the way, I don't think's right. I just don't understand that logic. It should go to the best player. It doesn't matter if you won it the past 3 years. If you're the best player in the country for 3 years straight, you should get the Heisman Trophy. But hey, what do I know? That's just my personal opinion. But now with this disaster of a game, and then we ain't even talk about this, USC has a gauntlet in front of them. They have 5 more ranked teams to play? They got to play Washington, Oregon, I think UCLA, Utah. Well, Utah's got their number. I mean, you're seriously talking about USC could lose probably, 3 or 4 more games? I'm not going to talk about that too much. Just a little looking, what am I saying? Just looking forward here. It's a lot to think about. But as far as it goes for this game, I'm mainly talking about USC because Notre Dame, unfortunately, it's a 4-team playoff. Your standard, I really don't know what your standard is. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I guess their standard is to make the playoff, and that's not going to happen. You have no shot making the playoff. You got 2 losses. The only possible way to make the playoff with 2 losses is if you're an SEC team, because the CFP committee has SEC bias, and you're Notre Dame. You have 2 losses. You lost to Louisville by double digit. You're not getting in the playoff. So, yeah, a good win clap it up. Good win for Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. I'm happy for y'all. I'm proud for y'all. But it's kind of all for nothing. Season's pretty much over. Sure, you'll probably go 10-2, win you a meaningless Pop-Tart bowl game. Congrats, I guess. You beat Lincoln Riley, but your season's over. It's more so about USC. And even if you thought their defense was going to be bad this year, did anybody actually expect it to be this bad? Seriously, let me know in the comment section. I didn't. I thought they'd be slightly below average. But there's 133 college football teams, guys. USC's defense ranks. I'll write it down for y'all. You know they rank out of 133? Put it right here. Take a guess. 132. And you may be sitting there asking, well, Matt, who's 133? Colorado. Not a good conversation to be in. That's all I got. It's late. I'm ready to go to bed. I stayed up till 3 a.m. last night watching that Colorado game, Stanford game, doing the reaction video for that. I woke back up at 6 a.m. I'm running on not a lot of sleep. But yeah, I did enjoy today. Tomorrow's Sunday recap. I can't wait for that video. Hope I see you guys tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts down below. But